This video contains information that can hurt sensitive battle rappers' feelings. If you're easily offended, watch something else. What's going on, everyone? It's your boy Trubs. Welcome back to the Wiretap. And today we're doing Battle of the Year. We're talking Battle of the Year. We're about to find out who was the Battle of the Year, top 10, Round of the Year, Newcomer of the Year, and Battle of the Year. But before all of that, I've got a very, very dope panel. And let's bring everyone in. Let's bring look. We've got Danny from
Yo. What's
Pick
up,
Your
man?
Battles / Smokehouse. Big up.
What's up, man?
We've got Wax a Million, Battle Rap Wax. Big
Yo,
big up.
Mr. Talk Your Talk. Shout out Trub, shout out Danny.
Love.
Man?
And we've got London Jen.
Hey.
Yo.
Get it. How's
Shout out
everyone
Jen.
doing?
Come
All
on.
day.
Good. How's everyone doing? Good?
All good.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Ready
good.
to talk some
Great.
battle rap shit.
Facts.
Get into these lists.
Yeah. I mean, before we even get into all of that, top of your head, what's the first moment that comes to your mind when you think of UK Battle Rap 2022?
Oh, moment, my head.
Quick thing, first moment.
Tony
first
Bizzo.
moment. Okay.
I would say I was going to say that, but slightly just before that was ScoMo's bar. I don't want to give him any more praise than what he's actually said. Well, big, but that bar, anyone can become at any time. That stood out.
Return
But maybe
Gem.
because we've seen it a lot, didn't we? Yeah, the return of Gem as well. When Gem and Bobby stood ready to start battling, actually. That was probably biggest thing thinking about.
Return of Shotty. Is it Return?
Yeah, Return of Shotty. Even that Rivers and Tally, that first round, that was my first. Boy.
We had some crazy moments, crazy battles in 2022. Also, before we get into this, let me shout out every single league that put out content for us this year. It's not easy, so obviously shout out to No Loose Chat, Premier Battles, Trenches, Don't Flop, Rap is Full, Rappers Come Island,
Beast Anglia,
Dubs Candle, everyone that's provided us content, we appreciate you. So I just had to make sure we get that out of that. Favorite event of 2022 that you personally been to?
Why you start us off with all these favorites?
Right.
Like you asked us to do one list.
Man.
Come up with categories. Come on, it's like, right, what's the best of battle rap ever right now?
Yeah.
You got 5 seconds.
Yeah. Because then I want the answer that first comes to your mind. But it might be the wrong one because when you've deep it, actually use that one. But I want the first one that comes
a
to
plug
your mind.
one, right?
Yeah.
For me, it's gotta be a plug one.
Yeah.
It's gotta
that's
be
really why you wanted us to, that's really what
yeah, that's what you said. Easing us into it. So tell me how good the plug was.
But then what? Which plug though? Which plug?
No, plug 2 was slightly battle for battle.
Do you know what? Plug 2 was a little bit ruined for me personally because of travel. So plug 1, just everything was perfect about it, if you know what I mean. Apart from missing Rivers versus Bobby. But everything else at the event was, every battle was sick. And then Tony versus Bizzo.
I think, for me, it's plug 1 was just mainly because of the vibe. To be fair, I think the whole crowd was just a good day. It was just a good day. Them ones that
great battle rap day.
Nah, definitely. The crowd was on one. Most of every battler was on one. So
back-to-back clashes. Yeah.
Facts.
So, all right. So, should we get on to our top 10s then?
Let's get right to it.
Let's bring out our top 10s and then we'll compare it to the actual final top 10. who wants to go first? Obviously, Cammy submitted his list to me as well. He's not with us. We can make him go first.
Yeah, let's make Cammy go first. He's the one who has to work instead of doing this important stuff. So yeah,
he gets put to the sword. You come first.
That's it.
There you go. Shout out Cammy. He couldn't be here with us today. Maybe he's ducking the smoke because you know, who knows? But yeah, this is Cammy's top 10.
Oh, you thought I wasn't going to be in this? No time for an intro. Let's get to it. Cam GBR with the whole team. Shout out fucking Trubs, Jen, Wax, pick your battles, Danny man. Shout out to y'all. My top 10. Here we go. I'm not there live. Just me. They'll tell me that I'm wrong, but this is my top 10. Get angry at me. So I've got 3 honourable mentions. Kick Nelly, Crow, Slester. And at number 10, Promo King, Gassed Buff. Yeah, he lost versus Kingsley in the tournament. Considering he was nothing to something, is fucking impressive. Number 9, pains for me to do this. My boy Frost, he's going number 9. He's had good competition throughout the whole year. Debatables or losses. There's nothing that's a win in this year, and it's unfortunate to say. Number 8, I'm putting Tech at number 8. He's had 3 losses. Some might say his bigger battles. He has had good wins as well, and debatables. He's just had a mixed bag of a year, but he's putting in work all year, so he is going at number 8. Coming in at number 7 is Georgie Roots. Georgie lost versus Visual. Yes, he did. Georgie Roots also had the US battle, also had Funky D's 1 battle, which at the start of the year was massive, as well as having a debatable with Shuffle T, which no one seen coming. Number 6, Rex Clark, Bobby Rex, Mr. Main Eventer, 3 main events, 3 debatable battles versus Rivers, Fate, and Gemini. Who really gets a debatable with Gemini at this point? 5, Kingsley. A really good year from him, and I'm looking forward to see what he does in 2023. Coming in at number 4 is Bison Briggs. Now, Briggs has had a great year as well. He was really active this year, and it was good to see. I just want him just to go off until someone tells him to stop. Coming in 3rd, going to Moke. Really, really great year. Another international with Ben Superior. Great battles versus Ark. Great win versus Frost. Just a great battle versus Messi 13. Just a fantastic year for him. Coming in 2nd, I'm putting in Visual. Probably material-wise, been one of the most consistent the whole year. So we've had him versus Koji, debatable battle, versus Pathogenic, debatable battle, beat Death the Kidder, and beat Georgie Roots. Number 1, I don't think anyone is surprised. Bizzlebond, another fantastic year from him. Really just kept the incline going up. Kept going up, whether it's up against Oppa, up against Thesaurus, Real Deal, Koji. Like, he's just all the way up in the classic, of course, versus Tony D. What else can we ask for a champ? Salute to everyone. Thank you for having me. Apologies I can't make it at the time, but I will be back for more shenanigans. Rookie of the year, I think I'd be bugging if I didn't have the guy who's highest in my top 10 to not be the Rookie of the Year. Kingsley, you are the Rookie of the Year to me. Keep doing your thing. Had a really, really solid year. Round of the year, anything from Frankie versus Scoop. I think the first rounds from both Bobby and Gemini as well. I'd put in an honourable mention 2nd. I would have ScoMo versus Melody, and that round went super viral. It's just the choke at the start, I think, was the one thing stopping it. My round of the year, Bizzlebond's first round versus Tony D. It was just a great attack, and it set the standard for the whole battle. And everything started from Bizzlebond's first and made it into the classic battle that it is. Battle of the year, I'm stuck between 2. Either Frankie versus Scoop or Tony D versus Bizzle. I think I'm going to have to go for Tony D versus Bizzle. It's super, super close. Scoop and Frankie was so fire, and it was everything that we expected it to be. This Tony D and Bizzle, the energy was high in both. Just this battle was everything that it was supposed to be, and it was a champ versus a legend. Two veteran top guys with Frankie and Scoot, but a champ and a legend in our scene. Yeah, that's Tony D versus Bizzle. Thank you, everyone. Enjoy the show. I hope you guys agree with what these guys are saying. And no doubt they'll be absolutely right, and they'll tell me that I'm a dickhead.
Cammy's top 10. Bizzle Bond number 1. Visual number 2. 3. Moke. 4. Bison Briggs. 5. Kingsley Thunder. 6. Bobby Rex. 7. Georgie Roots. 8. Tech. 9. Frost. 10. Gas Buff. What do you lot think?
It's interesting, isn't it?
Very interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah, it's got a couple names in there, several names I don't have in mind.
Same.
A very different order. He's got quite a few names that didn't make my 10. Dope to see Kingsley. Obviously made a big impression on Cammy this year, Academy winner. So salute to him.
I struggled putting Kingsley in my top 10 though because of that level of opponent that comes with being in a tryout tournament. You know, I mean, he's done really well, of course, exceeded expectations being a complete newcomer, but I just don't think maybe top 20 I could see him in, or maybe the back end of top 15.
I agree.
Yeah, you got honorable mention from me as well, to be honest. I think this year he should be pushing to come top 10. Well, personally, anyway, for me anyway. So to come, now he's going to get more higher competition. Now he's going to get more barrers that he's going to have to face. I want to see if he can switch up his style as well, to be honest.
It's kind of sink or swim for him, isn't it, this year?
Gas Buff as well. Gas Buff made the list.
I didn't have Gas Buff in contention for the 10. So I think Gas Buff made a big impression this year.
Yeah.
Definitely had an international as well. That's huge. Obviously his promo made a huge impact. I love Gas Buff in the scene. And I'm really looking forward to see, similar with Kingsley, what he does in 2023. But for me, he didn't make the cut in 22.
He's got Kingsley Thunder above Bobby Rex.
Mate, I was waiting for someone else to say it. That's wild.
Oh shit! I just realized.
Bobby Rex, who battled Rivers Gemini on his return,
who's literally solidified himself as the number one contender as well this year.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Cammy solidified himself as the media platform with the worst takes in battle rap.
Yeah, I mean,
I thought that's where you were going. Sorry,
Cammy, I wish she was here, man.
He's gonna watch this, so I need answers in the comments,
Facts.
bro.
Yeah, definitely.
Kingsley Thunder above Bobby Rex, above. I mean, and let me just say, whatever I say in here is no disrespect to no battler. We're literally just here having a debate based on our opinions in it. So, but yeah, Kingsley Thunder above Bobby Rex, I think is wild. The rest I don't think I'm too mad at it. There's some people these guys on this list didn't make mine, but
visuals very
high.
Very high. Well, I mean, I think Visual had a great year. I do think he had a great year. He he's got one judged loss on his record. The rest either clear wins. Battled 2 internationals. He debuted his, on his league he debuted on Premier Battles Ireland, right? That was his kind of debut event.
Acquisition.
That was impact on that one. Had a great at the beginning of it was Roots the first battle of the year.
For Visual,
that was incredibly impactful. The two of them were kind of head to head, two of the hottest newcomers, and he cleared him. So that was very impactful. But Roots, Koj, Pathogenic, and Def the Kid is his resume. and a judge loss on there doesn't get him that high in my list.
Yeah. I think he's got a very dope resume. Yeah. Number second. Okay. I don't. Yeah. Again, I'm not too opposed to it. Fair. That's your opinion. Like in terms of orders, I don't have visual at number second, but I hear it. Fair.
You know, I do.
I think it's just for me. It's literally the wildest thing for me is Kingsley Thunder above. Because we got to think of level of competitions and yeah.
And to be honest, you said that level of competition. Yeah, that's why I do appreciate visual that he doesn't duck nobody. He takes anybody, whether a newcomer or international or just a heavy hitter.
Yeah, definitely. Also, visuals kind of, well, with like most people's opinion, I guess, that I've heard of. It's kind of like Moke and Visual maybe going for that number one contender after Bobby.
I think Moke and Visual, they're definitely fighting for who's ahead of their realm type thing. You know, they're neck and neck right now. I think like they've got a battle. Like it's one of them ones where they've got a battle. They've got to set this apart.
They got to see each other.
Yeah. Both making dope, like having good resumes and making good moves. In their own right, they've got a battle.
Give me 2 seconds. I'm just gonna turn my camera for a second. I'll drop me down, Travis. I don't know how to do
it. Yeah, but yeah, good, decent list. He's got Battle of the Year. Tony D versus Bizzo Bon, round of the year.
I'm not mad at that.
Yeah, round of the year. Again, Bizzo Bon's first versus Tony D, and newcomer of the year, Kingsley Thunder.
It couldn't have been anyone else but Kingsley, really, could it, with his top 10? The newcomer of the year. Definitely.
Yeah, round of the year. Bizzo's that was a very strong round.
Yeah,
that was the that guy round, right?
Yeah.
Give me a thumbs up, Jen, when you're ready. There you go. Yes, yeah. Would you look? I'm not mad at that. At those categories either. So
solid choices, yeah. Solid choices.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Let's leave Camille. Who wants to go second?
I'll go second. I don't mind.
All right.
Throw me to the wolves.
London Jen's top 10. Got Bizzo Bond. I'll let you say it. It's yours. So.
Okay, so yeah, I'll start from number 10. We had Celesta, Quill, Tech, Koj, Bison Briggs, Black T at 5, Visual at 4, Bobby Rex at 3, Moke second spot, and Bizzo Bond number 1. What do we think?
I think that's a solid list, to be fair. One person though that I thought was like, and it was, I had to really, really think about was Quill. That was one person on mine. But I don't know, obviously he won the title, so he's got to be mentioned in some sort of way, but I don't know.
For me, Quill's performances, right? So he's in there with a 1-rounder
versus
and a cartoon battle.
Yeah.
He's got a cartoon battle, a 1-rounder, and he's got the title match. But for me, in terms of, I had to get in there on impact. So I struggle to make decisions like this, to create top 10s, top 5s, whatever. I have to stick to very strict criteria. I sat here, I've got like how many different papers where I went over different things, looked at each battle, and in the end I really had to compare. I used Chubbs's list of criteria that he gave us in the chat, and also Jay Black's tried and tested champion criteria, and basically looked at impact, looked at performances, like your material, and I couldn't not put Quill in. I think it really affected him that his best work, or most of his work, he's only got 3, first of all, most of it is on Don't Flop, which isn't, you know, where it was, and it's not, it doesn't have, you know, he's got a title match which is 6,000 views or something, like but in terms of what he did in his performances, we don't have anybody like Quill in our scene. Like, he is a one of one. His third round, all of his rounds in the title match, but particularly the creativity in his third, the same thing with his moat battle, it's a 1-rounder, the creativity in that, the level of writing still, as well as his performance, his crowd engagement, his crowd control, his poise, plus his pen, like all of that. Yeah, when I look at his work compared to others who didn't make the list, he with those criteria, he got in there.
Yeah,
that's fair enough.
No, I hear it. I feel like if Quill had one more battle, it would be a lot higher.
Yeah,
definitely.
Fully solidified up there.
And
definitely.
we want to
it's
see.
A shame.
Want to see Quill more active. I'm sure we will this year. Well, I'm hoping to.
He seems quite motivated to be. He wants to obviously really fly the flag for Don't Flop, get that kind of connection back with people. Yeah, he seems to be really pushing for that, and that is also something else that kind of has added to his impact in the year, I guess. Is trying to bridge that gap a bit.
And
made no impact for me, I'm gonna say, but he's still got on my list.
Well, the champion now, so he's gonna get hunted.
Still got on my list.
He's gonna get hunted now.
He's active though. He's active. He's battling on match day 1 versus Visual.
Oh,
so
it's
looking like he's about to be active this year as well. So
I like that one. I like that one.
Black T. Sorry, go on.
No, go ahead, Jen. Go ahead.
I was going to say, I thought Black T had a pretty impeccable year after his loss to Kick Nelly. Took a judge loss at the beginning of the year, but then sort of leveled up every opponent, had some cancelled battles, which I don't know would have added to his resume anyway, but his performances against Messi, Villain, why haven't I got Briggsy there? That was this year, right? Yeah, Briggsy, and the 2-on-2 for me, and his level of material, his consistency every time for me, really, really stood him out amongst his peers and earned him that 5th spot for me. We already talked about Visual. Go on,
I think if you mentioned you're not sure if the cancellations that T had would have affected his resume. I think it would massively. I feel like from what I know, he's had, and I don't know if I'm allowed to say that. Fuck it.
Talk, bro.
He was booked with Georgie Roots. I think that battle would
have... that one. But when we're talking about
he would have had an international
and Keith as well. And so I think
those ones definitely would have added to his resume.
And I feel like people would have remembered Black T even more if those battles had happened. But yeah, I think he was up. Also, you gotta remember the Villain battle happened on. We still made it happen on No Loose Chat, but we have to also remember magnitude of events matter. So battling on Plug 2 that battle would have had a bigger impact as well, which would have made Black T be even more memorable.
I agree. Yeah, I agree. But Messi battle was it the first or second event from the trenches? Brand new league. First event from a brand new league. Yeah. Very, T's performance was scathing, like he was, you know,
His third round was
surgical with it, crazy. But
That was very
again,
good.
impact, you know, lacked the impact. But in terms of his, you know, his progression through the year, took a bad loss in the academy to someone I think, you know, most people didn't have him losing to on prediction, took that loss and then, you know, turned it around and sailed through the year. And to, you know, to the villain performance at the end of it, I thought was great year.
Yeah, I don't really have much to say about the top 10, to be fair.
No, yeah, I'd be happy to submit that
It's
list
not
myself.
the same as mine, but
My
same
I was
too.
surprised. I didn't think I would have Bobby up there so high because I've actually got him. I've got him. So 3 battles. I thought he was amazing in all of them, but I've got 2 losses in there, and I didn't think I could have someone with 2 out of 3. And I know consensus or debate. I think the first 2 are debatable potentially, but I've got him losing both of them now. To me, to have someone 2 out of 3 losses so high on my list, it just didn't make sense. I ran the category so many times, but it's undeniable in terms of what Bobby did, in terms of, you know, the material, the performances, the level of opponent, was pretty consistent throughout. Quality over quantity is what took Bobby up there on my list.
Do you think Bobby would have been in a different spot if those 3 battles were judged? So it's like officially lost, or is it just he would have still been up there because of
I think he would have still been up there because even though even if they were officially judged, I think they would have still been debatable. You can have a judge battle which the people still debate over, which is really close. You can have a judge battle which is, you know, really difficult to pick. So
I mean, you judged it in a way that you, as you said, you had them losing first, so you judged it. So you've done, you still applied your own judgment to it. I think with Bobby, the reason why I think level of competition is so important is okay, he's had 3 battles. Let's compare it, for example, with Tech, who's had 10 battles this year. The people that Bobby battled probably still beat, well, not probably, most likely still beat everyone in Tech's resume. So it's sometimes, and this is why I feel like level of competition is very, very important, because if we put their opponents versus the other person that you might think, would they win or would they make it debatable?
That 6, 7, 8 was so difficult as well. Heck with 10 battles, Briggs with 8, Koj with inconsistencies as well. Like is that 6, 7, and 8. We're here to give praise and props and all that. Too much inconsistency in that. Like there was battles that just cancelled each other out. Like the years are so up and down. Briggs, I think, has a lot of 1-rounders in there. He's got a couple of losses to newcomers as well. But then I gave him a win against O'Shea. But you got O'Shea on his comeback. It was a great battle. It was huge impact. You know, I debatable at best for me, at worst for me. So, you know,
I think he only has one rounder, I think, Briggs.
Yeah.
No, he's got a few. He's got a few.
Frost,
just the black as well. Just the black.
He's got Yanif. Was Yanif this year?
Jester was 3 rounds. Jester was 3 rounds.
Jester
Jester was 1 round.
Oh yeah, it was a 1 round.
I watched that yesterday.
1 rounder, yeah.
Yeah, 1 round.
He's got a few 1
rounds. Was
rounds.
Yanif only a 1 round?
First,
Oh yeah, he brought in loads
it was
of
an
people.
epic, yeah.
It was just a roast.
Yeah, exactly. It sort of doesn't count, but yeah, and well, no, that was the on beat thing, but in terms of level of opposition, you know, and I compared to Tech's 10, Tech has got some, I think, you know, Tech's loss to Celestar was a very significant one for me. Again, that was one, you know, like with Visual Moke, you are the leaders of your class. You've got to make you've got to make a statement here. And then, just kind of up and down opponents that, and I think Tech has said this, that he didn't really need to battle. He won the battles that he needed to win. And and some of them that he should have won, he didn't. Started well with DARPA. He's got good names on there as well. DARPA's got the internationals. They came over. Slessor, DMAC, Trubs,
Whispers.
big loss, but some of and big loss to Trubs, big loss to Slessor. I think the Slessor one is a lot more impactful. Trubs, he was better in as well, but it's a lot of kind of up and down, a lot of work.
Problem is losing 3-0 is
exactly
matters. Losing 3-0 matters.
Yeah, not winning around. And he did win. I gave him 30s BMF and Whispers, but those are the ones that we expect you. Maybe not less so Whispers. I think that was his most impressive performance. But again, when you're comparing some of these resumes, that's why.
I mean, sorry. I mean, let me say something. I mean, I'll give you credit about when he wins good. When he loses, he really loses. But to have 10 battles at level consistency, back to back to back, and that high level battle this year is crazy to me. 10 battles.
He wrote 30 rounds. He's back 30 rounds.
That's crazy work rate.
But at the same time, you've got to look after your resume. Some of those battles didn't need to happen. And if some of those battles didn't happen, you probably perform better on the ones that you should have made it at least more competitive.
Yeah, definitely.
Like you win Leicester, it's not so much that you lost, is how you lost.
How?
Yeah, I could agree. Yeah, I agree with that one.
Losing to me the way that he lost to me, but he lost every round. So then and that was money on the line. So I feel like it's not about losing so much, it's how you lose. But I do agree that this Leicester one matters more because there was more, like they're more kind of around the same.
That whole event was kind of that vibe as well, wasn't it? Because obviously it was leading up to the title match. You had Georgie and Visual going out for that kind of number one of this era. Then you had Slessor and Tech kind of they're double team partners literally going up against each other as well. It was all kind of geared up for that.
I feel like that event to me, I don't know why, like you just had
that event was flat. I'll be honest, it was flat.
Well, absolutely.
I don't know if it was flat, but there was a few convincing wins.
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the atmosphere. To be honest.
Yeah, the atmosphere was weird. I agree.
I was talking about the atmosphere. I wasn't talking about that.
Atmosphere was weird. I just felt like it just seems, I don't know, like when first word that comes to my mind when I think of that event is dark. Like, I don't know, like there was just a weird vibe in the crowd. I don't know why. And it was good matchups as well. Like George, like you lot wasn't excited.
There was a lot of like cancellations and stuff around that battle around the event. If I remember, there was a couple of like last minute battles put in, but the last minute battles was like Sean O'Mac and Danny Jack and Raptor and Frost. Like there weren't nothing to complain.
But that's what I'm saying.
Like
really? There was a few like clear, like Sean O'Mac, like 30 Danny Jack.
Yeah.
Well, not 30. It was a one round.
But that was a spanking.
He's still 30'd him, man. He's still 30'd him.
Yeah, that was a body. Moke went crazy on Briggs.
Facts.
Yeah.
And then obviously
Visual like that.
Going crazy on Roots. Celeste going crazy on Tech. Yeah. Anyway, battle of the year, you've got Tony D versus Bizo Bond. I don't think anyone can even say a word about that.
I think what would be more interesting is what would be your second battle of the year. Because I feel like that's kind of taking the spot for a lot of people, isn't it?
Off the top of my head, I can say I have no idea right now.
You know what?
Yeah, no, I'm not sure. I'd have to think about it. And I wasn't prepared, so I'm sorry I have no answer for you there, Danny.
Yeah, I've got a few honorable mentions. They're still
anyway, I'll say that my second one when I get there. Round of the year, Rivers first versus Tally. I'm not mad at that. That round was crazy.
Ferocious. Off the back of a crazy Tally round. Like Tally went first, had an impeccable round. It was Rivers was up against it. He really had to. Yeah, he had to come in on smoke, and man, he did not let
that
go of the
Roberto
gas.
Soldado line. Oh, good.
Yeah.
Beautiful
Newcomer
round.
of the year, you got Petrelli.
Boy Pizzle, yeah, man.
I like Petrelli still. I like Petrelli.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's made an impact enough to be newcomer of the year, but
This is
preference
my
wise,
choice.
Do you know what?
My choice.
Do you know what? I feel like he would be my second choice simply because he hasn't had like the endorsement of like a tournament, like a function, like running operation, if you know what I mean. He's kind
I'm
of,
looking
and
forward
his
to
name
see
is
what
about.
Petrelli does.
Yeah, and he's you know, he's only had 1 3-round battle thus far. I think it's only one, isn't it? Yeah, it's only one.
Yeah, none. His first one's next week.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Did I think he had no? Messi was 1 round, of course.
Yeah. First one's next week. Yeah.
But yeah, for me, he's the most exciting. He's got a lot, and he's a kid, like he's a proper young man who I think has got a lot of talent and is a real humble student of this game. So yeah, shout out to Kingsley, who I think is a shoo-in for winning this. He won the academy. He's been, you know, a great presence in the scene. He's been outside. He's passionate. He's hungry. So I think he's, you know, everybody's shoo-in. But for me, yeah, whilst he hasn't made the impact that some of the other newcomers might have, he's my fave. So yeah, gets my pick.
Fair.
I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that. He's special. He's special.
All right. Listen, should I go next? I'm just
go on.
Go ahead.
I said it because I didn't want to just offer for people to go next, and then someone says yeah, and everyone's like, when are you like? Are you setting yourself up to go last type shit?
I really don't mind when you put me, so just pop me in whenever
I'll
you
go
want.
after Fuck it. I'll go after Trump.
There you go. I'll go last.
Yeah.
My list. Oh yeah. I was gonna ask you a question on yours, but I did the same
very
thing.
similar list.
I was gonna.
You just got the wrong order.
I was gonna ask you a question on yours, but I did the same thing. So I was gonna ask you for you, but I'll get to that. So, number 10, I've got Tech. 9, I've got Slester. 8, I've got Quill. 7, I've got Black Tea. 6, I've got Koj. 5, By Some Briggs. 4, Visual. 3, Bobby Rex. 2, Moke. 1, Bizzle Bond. We've mentioned a lot of names here, and I feel like we haven't mentioned these names because it's very a bit we self-explanatory type shit. Like we know what the work he's put in, but Moke, dude, he had a crazy year as well. Obviously, no one's mentioning Bizzle Bond as well because he's just a given.
We're bored of fucking complimenting him, man.
Like Bizzo's looking like Bizzo's probably watching this right now. It's like these lot are just skipping past my name at number 1. Like
it's a fact.
No one's even fact.
It's not questionable, right?
And sometimes we like, I wanted to hear Saturn. I wanted to, you know what I mean? So obviously, right. So let's I mentioned Bizzo, so I'm gonna start with Bizzo. Obviously, Bizzo had 2 years back to back. Crazy years. Obviously, just coming off, he won the Anarchy tournament last year. He had a great run. This year, I feel like he's got by far the best resume of the year. He's got
stunning resume.
Starting with Koj, Tony D, then real deal at Foreign Soil, in King of the Dot, the real King of the Dot's champ, Hopper, Foreign Soil, iBattles champ, the Saurus, and arguably won most of them. I didn't have him winning versus Tony, but I have him having a fantastic performance versus Tony.
Potential classic. It's battle of the year. Like it's a hugely impactful battle.
Yeah, I feel like usually I don't say things are classics because I always say that they need the test of time, but some of them you just know they're gonna have it.
Yeah.
Like Bizzo and Tony are definitely gonna have the test of time. You know what I mean? So, um, I'll do your team. But yeah, so yeah, Bizzo's resume is like there's nothing. I think he's got the best resume I've seen anyone have in a while. To be quite honest.
Yeah.
Um,
Do
but
you
yeah,
think? Oh, go on. Sorry.
go on. No, go on. Go on.
Do you think Bizzo Bond has now reached superstar status?
As he got
Has
superstar
he?
status
Yeah.
now?
Has he reached that superstar pinnacle now? Not
I
like
think
that
he's.
pinnacle, but obviously
I
he's
think he's
coming to a
heading
point
towards it.
where everyone knows him now. Everyone knows him now, even Americans.
I feel like he's heading towards it. I don't think he's
Mm.
got it yet. I don't think he's got superstars. Like superstar. When you talk about superstar, to me, you mentioning Shorty Horror.
Yeah.
Like that's
Facts.
superstar. You know, like
I think
even
Bizzo's got a
Tony
level
D.
to transcend. Yeah, he's got to
100%.
have. Who was talking about? Was it Briggsy? I think talking about it the other day. He needs that kind of breakthrough.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I do feel like yeah, Bezos' resume is I think he's on his way to be a superstar. He's definitely
Yeah,
on
I
his way.
agree. I agree.
On top of all this as well, he's also been coach for one of the academy teams as well. You know, helping that kind of development kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah. But what I was going to say about Moke was his resume this year, which I think his resume is crazy. Obviously, he's battled Quill, which is level of competition when we're talking about Quill.
Mm.
I feel like when you're breaking that like tiers, Quill is definitely up there as a top tier battler in the country. So Quill, Ben Superior got on foreign soil, his iBattle debut, and he had a crazy moment over there to
Yeah,
a
big
point where
impact.
I can say it because Lex said it on the timeline. He's gonna go back to iBattle off the back of that. He's battled Bison Briggs, which
Mm-hmm.
he got a W, 2-on-2.
Great win there as well.
Yeah, 2-on-2 where he won clearly. Messi, crazy performance. Ark, crazy performance. I think Ark got him, but he's battled a Mount Rushmore battler.
On
And
his
He didn't
return,
lose.
like
Yeah, he didn't lose anything from that battle.
he came back from the legend of Mount Olympus and said, "I choose you." And yeah,
And I
Mo.
feel like a lot of people were scared to take Ark on his return as well, to be quite honest. Because
Mm.
I specifically was reaching out to people to book Ark for plug one, and some people said no. That's all I'm
Some
gonna say.
people.
Facts. What you saying? Some people are ducking.
So not even that he's ducking. Sometimes you like on the return. Nah, I'm not. And I don't know if that's the case, but yeah. And then he battled Frost. And I feel like he won. So
Yeah,
where we say quality over quantity. Personally, I feel like Moke has both.
That's a fact. Yeah, that's a
7 battles.
fact. And that's why he's up there. 7 battles. And even if you give him losses on that, it's against top level opposition in quality performances. Like he didn't lose anything. If you've got him losing to Ark, he didn't lose anything. He gained a whole lot from that. Same thing with Quill. And I think those are the only maybe arguable losses on the resume there. And he was outstanding in them. He raised his stock with those battles and performances. That's why he was so high on mine as well.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for that pesky Bizzo, taking nothing away from Biz, because I didn't give him any flowers on mine either. Like you said, stunning stunning resume. That's how you move as a champion. You take every opportunity that's given to you, and you run with it. He's untouchable. It's crazy that we just didn't mention him. And he's just a shoe-in. It's not contentious at all.
Yeah, nah, definitely. By the way, on the graphics, you will obviously you can see everyone's social media. So go and follow Cammy's social media YouTube channel. Go and follow London Jen's social media YouTube channel. Subscribe to all of that. If you watch, well, this one is right here. So if you watch it, make sure you subscribe.
Hit that
Yeah,
like right now while you're at it too.
Facts.
why not?
If you didn't do it on the way in.
Appreciate you. Yeah, Battle of the Year. I've got Tony D Bizzo. Round of the year, I gave it to Quill's third round versus Crafty.
I love that.
I think that round was
Crazy.
ridiculous. And I feel like when you obviously when you're looking at it from someone who does it, I then look at it from a thing. You know how hard it is to pull that off. That is nuts. That is nuts. So I feel like Quill is definitely one of them guys that knows how to create moments. And like Jen said, there's no one like him in our scene. So only reason Quill is 8th, unless he needed one more battle, then he'll be right up there. Like Jen said, also he's made it to number 8 with a cartoon battle, a 1-rounder, and then a title match. But yeah, Slester, yeah, I feel like his resume this year, dope resume as well. Obviously, Slester doesn't really lose. That's the thing about Slester.
He's had no losses this year. No
thing I
losses.
wanted to say
I
about
want Slester to have a bigger impact as well. Like the thing is, he doesn't lose, but I want his battles to have bigger impact
and cleaner performances. 2 of the battles he had this year were really kind of like the Crow battle and what was the other one?
Frost.
Yeah, really kind of scrappy battles where you can see as well he hasn't got his shit locked in as well, and he'll do all of that extra ad lib into the crowd to kind of fill in, and it takes away from his momentum. It makes him seem less polished. I think he should be, with the work he's got, he should be higher. He should have made more impact, and I feel like that's the reason, one of the reasons why he hasn't, because he hasn't polished in himself enough, really. And I think part of that might be preparation. I don't know, but I think that does.
Yeah, so he's had 4 battles this year: Crow, Tech, Matter, Frost. He's won them all. But I feel like I want to see his battles make a bigger impact. One person I want to speak on, it hurt me not to have him on the top 10. It actually hurt me. It was Frost. I feel like Frost.
Do you know, I didn't even notice Frost went on there.
Yeah.
I feel like Frost had a great year, and I feel like Frost is the only person where I debate. I couldn't understand why he wasn't on my top 10 because I enjoyed his performances a lot. I like Frost a lot. So, top of my head, if you tell me to mention your top 10, Frost is in there. When I'm breaking down categories and blah blah blah, Frost didn't make it according to how I see things in the category. So the thing with Frost, he's had a great battle with Koj, had him losing, but great battle. Raptor, good battle, short prep, 1-rounder. CJA, great performance. But again, with Raptor, I had Raptor winning as well. CJA, great battle. I don't even want to pick a winner on that. I had him beating Tech, but then I had him also losing to Bison Briggs, lost to Slester, lost to Moke. And I feel like I want to see, which also, I hope this is a wake-up call for Frost as well. I want to see better prep time. I personally, I'm not a fan of this I'm writing the day before type thing. I don't like it. I'm a big advocate of I don't like it. And yeah, you pulled it off a few times. And this is just not Frost. It's not just Frost, by the way. I'm not just ranting at Frost, by the way. But you pulled it off a few times. But personally, I feel like if fans bought a ticket to come and see you, they should see the best you, man. And if you, no matter how many times, even if you got it clean and you had a 8 out of 10 performance, all that tells me as soon as you mentioned to me that was short prep, the first thing that comes to my mind is then it could have been 9 out of 10 then.
Yeah.
so you cheated me. That's my first thing. I need to see. I want to see. Or if you do pull it off, don't tell me that you were short prep. Then I might not give a shit if you pulled it off and you don't tell me. But the minute you tell me that you were short prep, I want to see people putting in more time, more. Do you know what I mean? And also, Moke Moke, and I think Tony D said it in a few of his interviews. His rounds are a bit short, which sometimes is like you're picking up momentum, blah blah blah, and then time.
Very, yeah.
You know, so and that's because of short prep. You're doing what you need to do, and I want to see more from Frost. I'm not gonna lie, Frost. West London as well. It hurt me not to have him on the top 10.
Yeah, it was the same with me. He seemed like a shoe-in, and then as I'm running down his resume, I think I've got him with all losses and a debatable.
Oh wow!
You just like
Damn.
you
got him
kind of
being
said the same. Well, yeah,
got him being
that's
second.
okay. That's maybe a win. But lost to
Yeah.
Koj, lost one round against Raptor, but wasn't great.
Pretty
Tech,
sure it wasn't a clean
I think he was
performance
good
versus
versus
Yeah.
KG
Raptor.
either.
Yeah, he was alright versus Raptor.
Yeah, that
it's
was
right.
still
one
one
rounder.
round short prep. Yeah, so it kind of Briggs, Lester, Moke.
He was really good versus Briggs, but I think Briggs
Didn't
got
you need especially for someone called Never Lost? Like we need some.
you're creating an expectation when you say never lost.
That's it, like,
So
yeah, and
nah,
all I've
man.
got is L.
Frost's gonna battle you next, Jen. That's
No, and I it's the same
Bang.
thing. I thought as soon as I'm looking at who's likely to be in, I'm writing the names, and then as I'm running down, it's like okay, well, no, and they weren't impactful enough performances, or it's yes, I enjoy, I like Frost's material, I like his rounds, I like him every time I watch him, but you don't go away thinking, ooh. Like you see, like how you might with for me, Sam Hypeskate gives he gives hunger, he gives passion, he gives energy. Like you can see every round he wrote that round to beat you, like to come and entertain, to come and put on. And I don't always get that from Frost. So yeah.
Battle of the year, obviously I've been saying Tony D, Bizzle Bon. Quill's third versus Crafty got my round of the year. Kingsley Thunder got newcomer of the year. Obviously, I feel like he's done a lot, cemented himself. And it's seen obviously level of competition and all of that didn't make my list. Tech got quite a few losses in his resume. I actually have Frost beaten Tech, but Tech, I feel like obviously writing 30 rounds in a year is a bit mad still. And he had some good performances on there too. He wasn't all else. So he scraped onto number 10. But I was literally my number 10 is always the hardest to pick because that means you're not going to even make it on my graphic. So when I post this on Instagram, you're not going to be thought of. No disrespect, obviously, but obviously now I'm here, I'm breaking it down. I can mention your name, but when I post this on Instagram, your name's not on there. So I always feel like, you're not even there. Like some people can disagree with the order, but not being on the graphic, I think is a bigger thing. So now my number 10, it was between, even 9 and 10 was literally Lester, Tech, Frost, and Crow. And then I had to pick out the 4, 9 and 10. And yeah, that's my list pretty much.
Yeah, Crow was in the
Crow definitely gets honorable mention.
Yeah. Battle of the year, second battle of the year, Frankie Scoop for me.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Great show.
Definitely a good show, man. Lyrical slaughter from both.
Just say 2 plug battle, so make sure you get your tickets for plug 3.
Man's got a bit of extra promo in there.
Yeah, now it's cool. Who wants to go next?
Yeah, I definitely went all the way left.
I'm excited now.
Wags just letting us know he chose violence.
Boom.
Oh, you got the floor, bro.
Ooh.
Right, I'm not gonna lie. This is that.
I'll
The
let you
black
say
tea-
it and then I'll ask my questions. Go on.
Yeah, the black tea one I wanted to change that last minute. I'm not gonna lie, bro. I'm not even gonna be funny, bro. Oh my god. Yeah, black tea. Apologies, but can't lie. That one I wanted to change. But yeah, Tech number 9. Obviously,
How would you have
thought,
changed it? Actually, don't answer.
Yeah.
No, actually,
You know
I want to
what?
know. How would you?
Yeah, I
Have
know. I want to know as well. To be fair, how
You
would
know
you have
what?
changed
You
it?
know what? You know what? You know what? You know what? Because I realized I got to press send in it. It was actually going to be Tech would have went number 10, Black Tea would have went number 8, and Sam Hats would have went number 9.
Who would have come out?
Frost.
Oh,
Frost.
okay.
I wanted to change that last minute. I forgot to press send. For fuck's sakes. But yeah, I'm not gonna lie. That's why I couldn't even disagree with anything that Jen or Trub said because it was actually true. And when I literally watched the battles, that's why I wanted to make that last minute change. I even said in the group I actually to make that change. But
hold on, you got Frost on there, and now you shitting on him. Like, yo,
I'm not shitting on him, bro.
don't do that.
Good. Look, I'm not shitting on him. Look, he did very good. He did. But I wanted to even fight for his corner, but I couldn't even disagree with what you and Jen said. And I was like, but
Slester at 4, respectfully.
You know what?
That's the one for me as well. Yeah.
The order.
Over
But
Viz.
I understand what you say about the performances, but no losses, and you know what? Like I said, no losses, but like I said, his performance can be better. But I still rate the fact that he's undefeated. So that's why
level of competition, though.
I understand that.
I've got him losing to Crow as well.
I had him losing to Crow.
Yeah,
I didn't like that.
I think that's a debatable.
Yeah, I didn't like the battle at all from either of them, really. Yeah. But I think Crow done better than Celeste in that battle.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I also thought
visual, you're talking about visual who had pathogenic Death the Kid, Koj, and Georgie Roots.
And like he's only got the L because it was I can't say only, but it was a judge loss, but a great visual. Like
and we don't know
Koj visual battle. Sorry, Celesta, respectfully, but that battle is better and that visual is better than any of the Celestas I've seen.
And also, and that Koj that lost the visual also beats every Celesta we've seen that year. So, and that's why I keep thinking about level of competition, like, and it goes back to Bobby Rex. Yeah, let's say hypothetically speaking, you've got Bobby Rex losing to Rivers. Whoever, there's a lot of people that you're going to mention if you're going to take points out of that will lose to Rivers. There's a lot. You talking about Gemini? Oh, there's a lot of people that you're going to mention. They're going to lose to Gemini. And then you got Fate, and there's a lot of people that will lose to Fate too. So that's why level of competition is very, very important. You have to understand who they battle. So when I look at Visual and Celeste's resume, yeah, Celeste's undefeated, but Koj, the only L that Visual has beats that Celeste. Every performance Celeste had that year, in my opinion. So yeah, man.
I'm not mad at that.
That's the only wild one for me.
I'm not mad at that.
What's Hype's resume?
Hype's. So
let me bring it up.
Sam Hype's had Crash. He had
iKid.
Yeah, had a very good performance with iKid.
Sam Hype said Just the Black, Matter, iKid, ScoMo, and Crash.
Just the Black and Crash. Everyone was saying that was like their best performance as well. So
but he lost to Jester, lost to Crash. Ike is my guy. I actually gave the battle to Sam Hypes.
Yeah, I got it to Sam Hypes as well.
I edged it to Sam Hypes still.
Yeah, it was a great battle though from both of them.
Yeah.
Real.
Sam Hypes reminds me a lot of Matter. Matter's just like, for want of a better phrase, but like that kind of workhorse battler that's just there all the time, but gets overlooked because of that fact. Like he's just consistently at a level all the time. because he didn't even make my list. But looking back, I actually think he's had
No, but yeah, I feel like
quite a good year.
I feel like he's very consistent in every battle he has. I mean, yeah, you got a few blips like that. One
But
round
you
against
had
Classic
some
Coach
hypes. You had some hypes over Black T though, and I think that is wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially if you're talking about consistent.
Whereas I knew this would come back to bite me, bro. I knew this would come back.
Well, you mentioned consistent. We talked
I
about
know.
hypes having, I think, 2 battles with chokes or stumbles in them.
This is why I wanted to.
Whereas Black T took the loss.
I'm gonna say something at the end.
Of the
just
year,
remind
but really kind of excelled. We took looking at opposition as well. I think he faced much tougher opposition. Cleaner performances, better material. Although that's of course subjective.
I'm just gonna say Black T's resume quickly, just so whoever. So just again, I know Jen already said it, but Kick Nelly, Messi, the 2-on-2, which a lot of people underestimate 2-on-2s. 2-on-2s are not easy to do. There's not many 2-on-2s in the country. 2-on-2s is not easy to do. He had a great performance on the 2-on-2. Briggs and Villain. He beat Briggs, beat Villain, won the 2-on-2, beat Messi.
Yeah.
Out of 5 battles, lost to Kick Nelly.
And also that loss to Kick Nelly wasn't necessarily because of his poor performance. It was more because of what he chose to write about and what he chose to speak on. Rather than like him not being prepped or anything, because he didn't choke or anything in that battle, did he?
Yeah, no, he didn't.
That's what I'm saying. It was all clean. It was just he chose the wrong angles for the wrong event.
Battle of the year, you got Tony D versus Bizzo. Well, I'll let you say it. Well, I'm not saying it.
Yeah, I got Tony D versus Bizzo. I think that was everyone had that, to be honest. That was a classic battle. I'll say even my UK top 5, top all time, even, to be honest. That was that good.
That's like the default one. Like Tony D and Bizzo's like the default one. But yeah, round of the year.
Round of the year. Also, I'm going to give some honorable mentions to Messi versus Moog and Frankie Fraser and Scoop. But that was one on my list as well. I think I don't know on my list. I can't remember, but that was on my list as well for Battle of the Year. But yeah, those were honorable mentions. Round of the year, Rivers first tally was crazy. I think I was thinking it was that or Bizzo or even Frankie's second. Frankie's second round was crazy.
We had a lot of crazy rounds this year.
Some crazy rounds to think of. I can't even lie. But Rivers first round, and I think because I was there, watch it right in front of me. Just like, yeah, I'm putting that in front of everybody.
And let me say about that round as well. Sorry, Wild, it's your turn, because everyone has exactly the same reaction to this battle. They watch Tally go and it's like, oh my God, crazy round. They watch Rivers go and it's like, holy shit. Everyone pauses after that. They go on the timeline or they go on their phone. Like, have you seen this battle? Like, that is everyone at that point in the battle. It's like there's a collective, like, oh my goodness.
Yeah,
like I watched that battle literally, once a week. Still, I can't lie, man. That round in general was that crazy, and I had several elbows from Jen to prove that.
I'm sorry.
No, I'm joking. But still, Kingsley Thunder,
dead arm and all of that.
Yeah, bro, I got that. Whew. But yeah, Kingsley Thunder, I got him as like was it? Yeah, newcomer of the year. I was gonna give it to Petrelli. I'll be very honest, but it was for me. It was I want to see Petrelli with more 3-round battles and show his case. But he had a very, very strong year. He had a very strong year for a very short time.
Yeah, I think Petrelli was just obviously based on what we know he's gonna do type thing. I think like Petrelli was more Jen's personal thing. We know in terms of impact and what they achieved this year and all of that. Kingsley Thunder definitely he's won a spot in I battle. So
but yeah,
I think Petrelli definitely it's not my turn.
And he won the most competitive academy I've seen to date.
Yeah,
I think it was the most competitive academy I've seen to date.
I definitely also want to mention Caveman. I think Caveman is one of my personal favorites as well.
That's a fact.
Yeah,
from
he
the
gets
newcomers.
overlooked a bit.
Yeah, and I always
fan.
mention his name, and I get surprised that he doesn't get mentioned enough. But yeah, I think Caveman is crazy. Gas Buff had a crazy year as well. But yeah, man, we I think so. We had a crazy year. Yeah,
as you
good
can
list.
see, I took a change to the top three. I think not top three, top two, to be honest.
Oh yeah,
Bizzle,
I almost forgot
yeah.
that.
Don't get me wrong.
Moke
Don't get me wrong.
over.
Don't get me
I
wrong.
didn't even notice
Yeah,
that.
Because we don't even look at number one and number two.
look, man.
I was going to ask
Number one,
before we
number
moved
two.
on. I was going to ask.
No. It's rightly so. Bizzle's resume is clear. Like he's fire. Can't disagree with that. Can't disagree with that. But I just Moke was the level of consistency as well, and his battles fire. I don't see any weakness in Moke's game right now. Even though Bizzle, it was literally by a hair. It was by a hair for me. I'll be honest. And
Yeah,
Moke
but
made
are you taking in consideration impact level of competition though? Because I think
yeah,
those
I
two
understand the
categories
impact. I
alone,
understand the impact.
those two categories alone, Bizzle clears everyone. Everyone. His resume this year clears everyone. Impact clears everyone. He's battled Tony D. He's battled Real
Literally
Deal.
only battled champions.
Like,
apart from Koji, who was a champion contender, I guess, is still a champion in some sort of way.
don't give that to Koji. It's not if he's not a champ, he's not a champ. Now Koji, but yeah, if he's not a champ, he's not a champ. Don't say only battle champs and then say Koji's gonna think I'm hating on him. I'm not. But
he was someone that could have been a champ.
I can't let you slide with that one. Sorry, you can't say only battle champs and then let Koji slide in there. Like he's still a champ.
He always says that I say that he's gonna lose. Let's try to be nice.
No, Mo's got some
Koji probably thinks I hate him. I actually think Koji is really, really talented, to be fair, but he probably thinks I don't like him. I don't know. But I think I don't think that's right. I don't think that's the right decision. But it's yours, so.
That was my decision anyway. But yeah, I think Mo got number one this year.
I've got another question. No Bison Briggs. C-Tech had 10 battles. Bison Briggs had 8. I understand a few inconsistencies, but Bison Briggs not being on the list at all when I personally feel like he's had a better resume than, for example, a Sam Hypes or even a Frost. Well, I think he definitely should be there over Frost, in my opinion. So yeah, I feel like Bison Briggs. I feel like he should have been there.
I mean, I see where you're coming from.
The two names that you've got under the I done is literally just Sam Hypes and Frost, and replaced by Black T and Bison Briggs.
And like I said, the inconsistencies, but even then, if I was prepared to put Frost out of my top 10. Briggs doesn't get in my top 10. Not from a Black T.
Top 10's wild, Wax is wild, just saying.
Hey, look, man, that's my top 10, man. What can I say, man? I'll stand on it.
I love it.
I'll stand on it. I'll stand on it. Hey, look, if Cameron can get Kingsley over Bobby Rex, I can get Mocha number 1. Yeah, I'll say that for a fact. That's what I'll say. I'll say that for a fact, yeah. I'm being a bit too quiet for me. I'm being too quiet for me right now. Let me talk my talk. Let me talk my talk, man.
I mean, all you're saying is you're both wrong. You're both wrong. That's all you're saying. But it's okay. Try to save yourself, but all you're really saying is you're both wrong, in my opinion. That's.
Yo, you muted, bro.
We do. All right, let's get into Danny's list.
Let's go.
This is fun, you know. Can't lie, this is fun.
This is. Wow. There we go. So I got Tech.
Bizzle Bond's like a default one. But yeah, go on, bro.
I got Tech in 10th, Georgie in 9th, Crow in 8th, Koji and Frost. 7th Koji, 6th Frost, 5th Visual, 4th Bobby Rex, 3rd Briggsy, 2nd Moog, and 1st Visit Bomb. I was kind of shocked that you guys didn't have Crow, to be fair.
I wanted to. He was like in those 10 for me, but I think the matter, I hadn't seen the matter battle, and it came out, I think, just after I'd made my list. I mentioned the Slester battle. I didn't love that battle either. I gave him that one. He'd also had, where's my crow list gone? He didn't have enough. Orwin, Lazy, and Terminal. It wasn't the work wasn't enough, and the performances weren't enough for me to just take him into that 10th spot. But it was he was in contention for me for sure. I'm glad he made your list.
Yeah, that was one that I was shocked that wasn't on more. But I feel like it's pretty obvious why he would be on the top 10. He's had a really good year. The Terminal performance was really a standout as well for him. I've got Briggsy third. Obviously, a lot of you guys have been talking about kind of inconsistencies with Briggsy and that, so I want to bring it up. I was waiting until it came to my list to bring it up, but if you look at Briggsy's resumes and the kind of like debatable / losses that he has taken, it's probably from like those guys' best year, if you know what I mean. Like a lot of the people that he battled this year was kind of solidifying their slots, and he kind of played that gatekeeper role, which in terms of like impression, that left a big one. He retired Joker Star mid battle.
It's huge.
That was a good moment. That was a good moment.
Definitely. Obviously as well, he's been willing to like jump in when Jester needed an opponent. For the plug 1.5, when Frost needed someone, he would jump in. The types of battles he's had as well. So he obviously the kind of fun battle versus Yannick, where he got a load of people involved, even though it wasn't something he was taking serious to like win the battle. It was just a fun moment.
It was a great moment for the scene as well. Like,
yeah, definitely. And then the Koj battle, obviously being on beat, it isn't really it's more a battle of them music rather than a battle of like, you know, a battle as we see it. But yeah, I just think he deserves to be up there in the list for that kind of role that he's played this year as like gatekeeper.
Above Bobby Rex though. Again,
do you know what? That's something with all these conversations that's been going on. That was something that I was looking at my list, questioning, thinking I can't explain that, to be honest. Yeah.
When it came down to those guys, I really had to, like I say, I had to objectively, I had to take myself an opinion out of it because it was so hard to choose and literally I compared so many guys together, and it's like looking at different categories, which one do you win? And with Briggsy, he tied with so many, like on so many. But it was, ultimately, I think I put him where I put him. But yeah, like you said, his resume, he does have impact. I didn't consider as well that not only, so, you know, I said he's got losses to kind of the newer guys, the Black T and the Moke, but you're right. They were very impactful performances from these guys on the up. So yeah, that does kind of, sweeten the hour a little bit. I've got him winning to O'Shea as well.
I had him winning versus O'Shea as well.
Yeah.
And again,
there was a change that I would have made. Go on, man.
Yeah, just quickly. Again, I was just fighting for. This is how you lot know I'm not biased at all. I was just fighting for Briggs. Why is he not on the top 10? But now I just want to mention that everyone Bobby Rex battled probably beats every one of Briggs' opponents with their performance.
Yeah, I can see that. But what I did, and I think maybe it was detrimental to the list, maybe a little bit, but I had like my own little kind of point scoring. So like for each battle, they would get like a certain kind of point score. And maybe kind of the guys who have battled more got like more of a benefit off of that a little bit. But I switched them to round a few times. I did switch them to rounds a few times.
Danny hit me up once everything was done, all the data was added. Oh, can I make a change?
Yeah.
I said no. I said no, you can't. You can't. Everything's done. You can't. Let us know what the change would have been. I'm putting you on the spot.
It would have literally been to switch Koj and Black T.
So Koj would have jumped out of number 7.
Possibly.
Not even moved down.
Do you know what it is? Hang on. Let me explain. I was toying with having Koj in my top 10 at all, but then looking at and it was the level of opponent that I kind of looked at with him, and that he was like, he took the major L, which was judged to Bizzo, but then he's had like quite a decent year since, and yeah, I don't know. I think I probably I could have swapped him for Black Tea as well. I'm saying that I could have swapped him out for Black Tea, but I couldn't have necessarily have moved the other guys around because of what they had done as well. You know what I mean?
I just want to say this, yeah.
Hmm.
And again, I was just getting on, like being a bit funny on Koji, but there's obviously the narrative that Koji is inconsistent. But if we look at his resume this year, he beat Frost, lost to Bizzo. The Briggs was on beat, so I didn't really count that. Visually won, and it was a great battle. And he had a good battle with Ark. The thing is, yeah, the thing with Koji is his fault. He constantly talking about being short prepped, and obviously the Quill thing, the 2-on-2 that didn't happen. I feel like Koji, yeah, and I'm gonna use this together. It's your fault because I guess Ark, right after the battle, when people asking him how was the battle, only thing he's saying is, "I'm glad I didn't choke," which you letting people know that you still under inconsistency.
Underprepared, yeah.
You feel like the narrative is being built by other people, but I feel like it's being built by yourself. You actually didn't choke. You could have actually acted like that was your 3 rounds. You was well prepped, and that was that. And you lost, but it wasn't a bad L. Like you did all right. Do you know what I mean? But because you're now saying, "I'm glad I didn't choke," and then the Bizzo one you choked, and then you constantly talking about I'm writing the day before. Personally, I feel like the narrative is being built by you.
That's a fact.
Yes. So I just wanted to point this out over here because I don't want people because narrative that I'm inconsistent. You actually have a good resume. You actually only have 2 L's on your resume. One versus Ark, which is a Mount Rushmore guy, which we're not mad at you losing to Ark. I guess Bizzo, you should have done better. But every other battle, like Visual was a great performance, Frost was a great performance. You creating the narrative of that's maybe subconsciously, I don't know. You creating the narrative that you are inconsistent. It's your fault. That's all. I just wanted to point that out. And I'm a big Koji fan. I'm just pointing it out as well. I'm a big Koji fan. I feel like Koji is crazy.
That's facts, though.
Like his battle versus visual, his performance versus visual is to me is amazing. And
yeah, it's a great.
I didn't just come in here last year. I was around. I saw Koji versus Shocks. I saw like I seen Koji had crazy performances in his day. He had crazy My first Don't Flop ever event was Koji versus Bison Briggs. He had a crazy performance in that event. So I feel like Koji is crazy, but I feel like he creates the narrative of him being inconsistent. I just wanted to say that.
Yeah, no,
to a point where Danny was going to remove you from top 7, like from number 7.
Do you know what it is?
Not even move you down, just remove
the
you.
hardest bit for me was that 7th to 10th place. I had like 8 people that could have taken those slots.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie.
It's really, I struggle with it.
I'm surprised you've got Georgie in there, respectfully. For me, I thought his battle with Shuffle was a great one. You're battling, Shuffle team, one of them ones. He did great in it, but he was he didn't battle a lot this year. He's got a big loss against Visual. He's got a nice win in the 2-on-2. He did have his international debut, but I think that was a sloppy.
That was a slip. I think it was a good performance, but there was a slip up there still.
Yeah, and he, got the phone out and stuff. That's not that battle, right? I'm sure that was that battle.
Yeah.
That's not, when you're being
also the Funky D battle as well.
Oh yeah.
Funky D battle was about that in there.
But yeah, it's a 1 round as
well. I think as well the way he handled himself. So I wrote down professionalism for him. The way he handled himself in that battle as well, because
definitely,
you could name 10 battlers off the top of your head that wouldn't have carried on rapping in that moment.
You can name more than 10.
Yeah, exactly that, man. Exactly that.
I wouldn't.
So yeah, I think I was kind of thinking about that as well with that choice. But it was kind of high profile battles for him as well. That level, like obviously, the controversy and all the like hype that was around Funky coming in. Whoever battled him had to beat him. Like they had to do what Georgie done. And then obviously Shuffle T, his first battle on No Loose Chat. again, Georgie's the one that steps up to that plate.
And Root had
the
6 battles
visual
this year.
battle, he shouldn't have. That shouldn't have been such a bad loss for Georgie in that battle. You could tell he wasn't as prepped as he normally is and things like that. So that was a bad loss right at the start of the year. I feel like he kind of had a bit of redemption.
That's the
story
battle that I
going
feel
this
like
year.
he let Visual surpass him.
Yeah.
Literally, for me, like that's the battle that Visual literally surpasses you at this
Yeah,
point.
because Georgie was up there going into the start of this year. He was, you know,
was that
the
guy.
guy, literally.
Yeah.
Mm.
Literally, yeah.
So, yeah, for me, he was just a little too inconsistent this year.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Cool. That's
I like you've given the round of the year to Bobby Rex and Fate. I think
that
Bobby
first round.
Rex's
first round, yeah.
FATE.
And they flipped a whole round. Hey.
Sorry,
that runs in my head like daily. Foolish Americans, like travels eagerly. That whole thing. I'm like, shit. Like how long that must take to write something like that. Like obviously I don't rap, right? Like I've maybe tried to write a few bars like when I was like younger and stuff, but the technicality that must come into doing something like that and being able to pull it off is because I think it would go over a lot of people's heads. Like I've shown Tom now, and he didn't necessarily catch it first time. I had to kind of rewind and be like, what's he actually doing there, man? Like but like and it's because to the kind of I guess untrained ear, people who aren't so into like how it's all kind of formulated and written and stuff, it can go over heads. But yeah, that was phenomenal.
And a lot of the times the transition between one bar to the other was immediate. I think that's what makes it even harder. So you'll do a FATE, and after the E is his next word is literally another F.
Yeah, what was it? It was foolish American travels eagerly, fighting against the English.
Like it literally goes. The transitions were literally back to back, and I think
it wasn't forced, so it didn't sound. You didn't look for it being a sort of a gimmick, so to speak, because it didn't sound forced. It sounded like, you know, to the untrained ear, like he's just saying some stuff that rhymes, some cool stuff, but you don't necessarily pick up what he's doing.
Because a lot of people will do a FATE, and when I say FATE, I just don't want to insert the actual words he said, but he will do a FATE, say something else, and then do another one. Oh, and guess what, guys? I can do another one because and then do it. He's doing it literally word for like, and I think that's even harder.
Done the same. He's done it before against Ambi when he battled Ambi at the club. He done it then, and it was really, really well done then.
I was there when he battled Ambi as well.
Bobby Rex been in his bag this year. He's been in his bag this year, man.
Yep. Number one contender. He's gone from like even me. I was guilty of this, but at the start of the year, being like, "Nah, you surely can't be having number one contenders. It's too soon. He's in just really battle busy." All these kind of excuses. I can't use a single one of them now at the end of this year. When everyone, when it's all said and done, it's undeniable that he would be the number one contender. Which is crazy, really, when you think about, like, obviously in all of our lists, Mocha's second. Obviously, Wax had him first, even. Like, that's kind of mad, isn't it? But then I guess Mocha's done a lot off of Prem. I'm thinking of just Prem there, aren't I?
To be honest, I wanted to see. I know that's not going to happen now, but I wanted to see Bobby Rex versus Mocha for number one contenders. But yeah, that's what I wanted to see.
And they might have it as a title match instead.
You never.
Might just be that instead. But yeah, newcomer of the year, I think is self-explanatory again. I do want to shout out though as well. Somebody else done the exact same thing that Kingsley done. A brand new battler coming in and winning a trial tournament, which was Bandit as well. So yeah, obviously having that kind of accolade behind him going into their battle career, it's quite good. Cool. Yeah, that's me.
Yeah, dude.
Cool. Now I'm gonna reveal to you guys. That's the thing, guys. The panel doesn't actually know.
Cool. Yeah, man. I want to know. This is the reason why I agree.
Nah.
My panel actually doesn't know who's, so.
Well, I know I'm gonna be wrong with Bobby, the Moat number one. So yeah, let's kick that one.
Well, I'm gonna show you guys the bottom five, and the bottom five is